Hi guys, we're going to have a look inside the Nikko VelociTrax that I picked up in a charity shop for £1. We had a quick look last night and established there's no battery pack for it. It should be a 6-cell nickel metal hydride rechargeable battery, but that's missing. We don't have the controller, and none of my 2.4 gigahertz controllers will bind with it. So if we do want to get it going, we'll either have to change the receiver board for another 2.4, or I suppose we could downgrade it to 27 megahertz or something, or we go the other way and upgrade it to fully hobby grade control. Either way, today we're just going to do a tear down and have a look inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at least screws. I might speed some of this up a little bit. Just so you don't get totally bored by watching me unscrew things. It is nearly dinner time, so I'll try and keep this short and sweet. Okay, that's 4 screws undone. Oh, right. A lot simpler than I expected. So we have a top cover. We have a bit on the back. Twin motors. Let's just estimate their size before we do anything else. Be slightly narrower than that. Look like they're about 24 millimeters across and about 30 long. There's our receiver board. Just looking at it, those chips CP2119, I would guess they're H bridges to control the motors. And then the actual chip itself, my eyesight isn't quite good enough. Well, it might be X2455. I would think is the main chip there. I'll do a close-up of the circuit board anyway. And I could just pop the battery in and measure and check we're actually getting voltage all the way to the board. Other than that, I could take the gearboxes apart, I suppose, have a look at them. But nice and simple. It would be very easy to replace that board. In fact, from the looks of it, there's probably enough room to get an ordinary hobby grade controller in there and a couple of ESCs, and it'll all be up together again, working hobby grade. Just looking, that looks like that just clips in place anyway. No screws. Just the on-off switch there. Oh, on-off switch. Yeah, something's holding it in place, but I can't quite. Oh, it's just sticking on that bit of plastic. There we go. 2016. Clearly motored, forwards, backwards, left, right, although in this case they're both being used to drive separate motors for forwards and backwards. B+, B- for the battery. And on off. Back wheels have got screws in them, so we can take them off. I'm not going to take it apart right down to each individual screw, but as I say, we might take one of the gearboxes apart, just have a look at it. And I want to measure, check the voltage is getting through. So let's pop that back in place where it was. And we'll connect up a battery. Temporary battery on there. That's a 2S lithium ion battery, which will be 7.4 volts or maybe 8 point something when it's freshly charged. I'll put the meter where you can see it, might be handy. Can you see that? Yeah, we can see that. And we should. 7.99. Yeah, that's not bad. So that's getting through to the board okay. I would think that the reason it doesn't bind is it simply doesn't like any of my controllers. Right, I'm going to disconnect that battery again. So we don't have any unfortunate accidents. How easy is it to get one of those gearboxes off? Looks like it's just 2 screws there. Is that going to come out easily, or is that going to be... I might have to take them both off. Because although they're individually driven, there is a shaft goes right the way through just to keep the alignment, I should think. Okay. Cool. Doesn't come off easily. Why is that so awkward? I can't see any reason for it being awkward. And I can undo the wheels and pull them right apart, but I can't see that's what's stopping them coming off. Probably just well pushed on. I'll use a bit of leverage off screen. That was a lot less dramatic than I thought it was going to be. I just needed to give it a bit of leverage and then it just pops off. So there we go. That's all. Those just line up, keep the tracks in position. So now, is that going to lift off easily? Yeah, there we go. And I think they'll slide apart. Yeah, slide apart. So that axle is just to keep the alignment. It doesn't turn these plastic sleeves on the outside of it. Turn. The axle itself, as I say, is just for alignment. And they come apart. Motor sits on there, held in place with that clamp. So I think we can just undo one. I'm not going to undo them both. All I expect to see is a nice reduction gear set to give it plenty of torque. Okay, gently does it, so everything doesn't fall out on the floor. Right, so that's the bit that actually drives the wheel. It's got a hexagonal shaft which fits in that hexagonal hole, like that. And then here we've got a brass gear on the motor, drives that one, and then that gear drives that one. So small, big, that's our reduction. Missing. Okay, that's back together. Always turn it backwards a little bit first to align the threads to the existing threads that are in there. Otherwise you end up trying to cut new threads in the plastic. I expect we could just have a look at the motor, see if it's got anything written on it to tell us what it is. Nothing written on it giving us the size. It's a CHAOLI is the manufacturer's name. But that's the only details on there. And that is 23 by, depending on where exactly you measure it, 30. So 23 by 30. And those screw holes are not being used as screw holes, they're just being used as alignments for the little pins that are in there. Now, have I turned that all the way around by any chance? Just looking. No, I don't think there's any big difference. Right. So there we are, we've looked at the motor. I'm not going to take the other one apart, it's not going to be any different. And we've got plenty of room inside to convert it to hobby grade. Work out if there's any other way of putting it together. I think that was that hole there lines up with that little peg there, but we don't want that. Just trying to work out whether that bit wire goes up underneath. It seems to be jamming now. Seems happier. Right. Yeah, that's how it was. I wonder if it's easiest to put it back on. Oh, that should be okay. Well, I don't really think you need to watch me put it all back together. So we'll stop the video there. Right, that's back together as far as I'm going to go for now. One thing worth mentioning is clearly it's not waterproof in any way, shape or form. I did wonder whether this would work in water, and it probably would, but it'll all get wet. And as I say, there's plenty of room there to stick 2 ESCs and a ordinary hobby grade controller. So that might be what we're going to do if I've got enough spare bits and pieces. I'm not sure about the ESCs at the moment. I'll have to have a look. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel, and down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.